You see a Sabertooth, some Arclights, the Raiden and the Overlord, and you know my opponent has absolutely no anti-air. I think if this were different, if I was playing this again, I probably would have picked the boat and maybe went into photon emission. Because I could have, basically, with 3 boats, I could photon-proof my, or EMP-proof my entire army for the first 25 seconds, I believe. I decided that it was actually time to invest into some chaff, and we're going to have a lot of fangs once I hit that button. So I think it's fine just having some crawlers and diversify the chaff here. Opponent did drop the level 6 saber in order to defend against this rhino. I was, however, also dropping some additional crawlers here that should help keep this rhino alive, at least for a bit. Oil here in order to protect against any and all pushes, with ground units at least. There really isn't much to oppose the Raiden here. He sold one of the crawlers. I guess that's fair, they were thoroughly countered here, and there was really not much that they can do. I think even if you start dropping phoenixes, you're still gonna have to deal with other stuff that's coming in on these flanks, and the assault marksman can feast off them. However, the sledge count is growing. We're gonna see if that actually does something. We do have a decent amount of chaff, and these do not, at least not yet, have mech range. The rhino here got annihilated pretty quickly, and it's all thanks to the Sabertooth, which also gets the assault marksman. So this flank is definitely getting cleared right now. Still stuck on chaff here, and the steel boars alongside the Raiden have cleaned up the tower. Now let's see how the rest of this match goes. There is still a healthy amount of MP sledges, and there really isn't much left to tank for them at the very moment, at least. Also, my tower fell, thanks to the sledges here. And you can see why he picked sledges. There's no anti-air, so the Raiden can kill everything. No heal on the saber to keep it alive for long enough, but that saber is just pushing through. Raiden does get a level of it, and it's dealing well over 200k damage this round. That was a little bit fast. We see an absorption module for Roger and a smoke bomb for me. Melter coming out, instant range, also a good choice. EMP missiles on a Melter, very good against assault marksmen if they can get the splash going. And the smoke dead in the center in order to stop these sledges from EMPing my army. I do get an additional pack of crawlers. Where did I put it? Did I put them here? Is that? No, that's not these crawlers. Ah, those are these crawlers. They need to be here, otherwise this marksman kinda just gets locked on instantly. You can see it really didn't do anything last round. Killed a couple of fangs, but that was about it. I was kinda aware of something that might counter it, Melter or even marksman of his own. Maybe his boat, a boat from him or something like that. Although I think Melter is the best choice here. So I was definitely thinking about beaconing this Raiden somewhere back so that if it is a Melter or a marksman or something, it will hopefully lose its lock and lock onto something else. And I'm not entirely sure why I dropped the shield here. Maybe I just had some extra money? No. Oh yeah, right. There's a potential smoke bomb coming. That could be very devastating. I did also retarget this here and decide that this may be of better use on the side that there probably will not be anything coming in right now. Once again, the Sabertooth here, now level 7, absolutely shredding the side, but you can see the amount of damage that it received. This thing is starting to... It's not really looking all that hot, let's be honest. The Raiden is well underway to the other tower. Now it is also level 2. And my opponent did not rapid resupply here. He did pick temp range, but no rapid resupply. Saber got absolutely shredded by the incoming Marksman. However, I am now in my own smoke. Yeah, and I don't really have the chaff or the range on the Marksman inside the smoke to deal with that. The melter just takes all of their health. And back to almost full. Survived yet again. Back to full, baby. That was a very worthwhile absorption module. Now, since I don't have EMP on my Marksman, I'm looking for a different source of EMP, and these high-level arc lights, if you could put elite and range and EMP on them, you kinda instantly have carry arc lights that can deal with some melters. I know that it's not going to shut off the heal, but it is going to be able to shut off the range. As far as range goes on the Marksman, we are pushing some very good numbers. Some of them at least are well over the normal range of Marksman. Well, back up to and very slightly exceeding the normal range of these Marksmen. There is now mech rage on the tanks. So those are going to be a whole lot more effective at everything they do, and he's just buying more of them. Still no significant AA, but I've also not given my opponent any reason to think about getting reasonable AA. We do see another incendiary bomb, of course. Oil is on cooldown, however, so he can't, like, oil everything. I've decided to add the shields on the fangs, especially into the sledges. That should be a great boon. And of course the Marksman with quad tech able to just produce the chaff and hopefully stand behind it for long enough to kill all of the sledges. And then kill the raid boss melter here. Yeah, that's a lot of damage from this Marksman. It's able to one-shot these sledges. And easily at that. Oof. But once the sledges do actually find their target, once the chaff is out of the way and they can shoot at Marksmen, they do kill them fairly quickly. I'm standing in fire, but it really doesn't matter. All these units have so much health. The scary thing is, however, that once again, I'm going to be up against the raid boss melter and it's angry. I mean, it's a level 3, soon to be level 4 melter that just plain and simple kills everything I have with superior range. I'm actually glad my own smoke is gone here. We do get some fairly powerful drops here. He could even go for like a nano melter or something like that. He does get the nano kit, and does he put it on a melter? He does. I actually didn't remember it. Maybe subconsciously, but yeah. Makes sense. I do decide to drop the wasps somewhere. There's probably not all that much to do with them, other than maybe block these smelters for a few shots, but in the first opening seconds they're not going to do much anyway either, so might as well just put them somewhere where they can probably work on some crawlers, on some sledges, and then later in the round distract the melting point. The opponent drops him in the middle to defend. I mean, there's no angle to attack with them on my side of the board. And I have a severe problem. I have a lot of money and I don't know how to spend it. It's a good problem to have, let me tell you. It is a good problem to have. Saber got sold. I actually do not know why. Maybe he's kinda banking on the smelter holding back all of that. Well, here comes a whole lot of assault marksmen and range on the steel balls, because they can definitely do enough damage to a melter even under these conditions. And I'm still 100 bucks in the bank. I think I'm going to I'm leveling this Rhino. It's actually very fortunate that he sold the Saber. It's just that this Rhino does reliably get a good amount of experience. It is also getting absolutely chonked by all of these units, but it's such a good tank here. I was able to deal a lot of damage to the enemy rear line, and they're still preoccupied. Meanwhile, on the front line, we are definitely getting this melter. Its heal is not going to do anything. On this side, you can see the balls were locking on, but not for long. As, yeah. It just... The EMP got the range away from my units. That's why the steel balls couldn't lock on. However, the assault marksmen were more than capable of finishing the job. Oh, look, here's a second advanced targeting system. None of the other things are even remotely good, I think. Now, some of these marksmen... Who is the highest level one? This is an arc light. Level 6. Yeah, I think level 6 is as high as it goes right now. They are up to 160 meters of range, and that's before the range buff. So 175 afterwards. There's a lot of missiles going out for the opponent, and I honestly think that he should have sold these storms a long time ago. They are not doing anything. Unless he plans to EMP them, not much reason to keep them, I think. 170 meters for this guy. Yeah, it's outranging basically anything here. Sledges have 160. Temp range already included, of course. Oil is back up for my opponent, but he does not have a unit that produces fire at the moment. Could go like fire on the storms. Oh no, he doesn't have fire on the storms. So he would have to like buy a Vulcan or something like that. Also doesn't have fire on the hounds. Not that it would be the cheaper option when they are already double teched. Alright, let's see. This might be the final round. Might not be. There still is a pretty scary melting point to kill if it ever gets to go to that lock onto everything and kill it one by one phase. And it does outrange all my marksmen. I feel like the Rhino died a lot more quickly this time, probably thanks to a missile. And that means this flank is going to get cleaned up fairly quickly. Now the sledges can join the fight in the front. I do have a marksman shooting the tower, but the tower is level 3 after all. Oof. And I think then this guy just said, don't care. Melter is EMP'd. EMP from the arc lights here. And that is just it. Quad tech, assault, marksman, and spam thrown in there just for fun. Yeah, if the opponent goes into carry hounds, I think this might be one of my favorite strategies going forward. Not necessarily because it's the most effective strategy, but because it's a very fun strategy. And you get to play a bit of a longer game and have some fun. Not sure if the opponent sees it this way, though. Alright, I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching and listening to this. And I hope to see you again next time with hopefully more regularly scheduled uploads throughout the next few weeks. Months, years, who knows? We'll see. Thank you, and until next time. Bye.